person's backyard after pitching a bag of drugs. The 47-year-old former USC star was arrested August 19th in Irvine, California, when the cops say they found him naked in somebody's backyard. It's really sad. It's really sad that this guy has fallen the way he's fallen, but this isn't a first thing for him. He was getting in trouble with cocaine when he was at USC. Cops say now they later found the bag, which contained meth, marijuana, syringes, a pipe, and Todd's wallet with his ID. I mean, this guy's getting busy. Meth, some weed, and some syringes, and a pipe ready to go. This guy's ready to party. And then he goes and gets naked and goes in back of somebody's yard. Wow. 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 He's facing 5 misdemeanor charges, including meth possession, weed possession, public nudity, and 2 trespassing charges. If he's convicted, he faces a max of 3 years in jail. How far have we fallen? Todd. Go from a mediocre career, maybe a cup of coffee in the NFL, to this. Public nudity and ditching bags of drugs and ending up in a random backyard. That's just too bad. It's really sad. Guy needs help. Hopefully he'll get the help he needs. Because right now, it's not looking good. Not looking good. Okay, guys, well, that's your wraparound with the crazy news and the other news about some of these athletes and what they get themselves into. But I want to play for you Coach Ed Orgeron, the beginning part of his press conference yesterday. Ed spoke about the win and what he expects from this team. I'm going to play that for you. Here's Coach Orgeron with his opening comments.
Glad to see everybody in today. Just a little recap on Saturday night. What a tremendous night for the Tiger family. All the way from the Tiger Walk to the stadium. 60 minutes, played with energy and efficiency with the football team. I thought our team operated very well. For the first time together, I was excited about the sideline. I was excited about everybody into it. I was excited about going in at halftime, being able to make adjustments with our football team, coming out and playing 60 minutes of football. Going into the game, we knew that we had a tough opponent, and I was very pleased with our preparation throughout the week. We took it on a daily basis. We had some obstacles to overcome during the early part of the week, but we did it, and showed our work in our preparation. I was excited about the efficiency on offense. I thought it was a great job by Steve Ensminger calling the plays. I like the diversity. I like the way he mixed his personnel, run fast. Obviously, all the yards that we gained and the things that we accomplished, but that wasn't the goal. The goal was to be very efficient, be multiple, put the ball in our playmakers' hands in space and let them play. He did a very good job of that. We had two 100-yard rushers. I thought offensive line played very well, but again, this was about the offense operating all 11 at one time. On defense, you got to give some credit to David Randon, our staff, along with Pete Jenkins and Corey and Big Ball. They did a tremendous job of defending a very, very explosive offense. To hold them to 7 points was a tremendous job. I thought our DBs had our best game of the year. We played some tight coverage. We played some man-to-man coverage. We only allowed 6, I believe, 1 ball. Davis White had an excellent night. We broke some balls up. We had a good pass rush. Devon Gottschall had 2 sacks. In the night, he played his best game, and they had only given up 1 sack the whole year. So we're excited about that, but we're excited about this week, obviously. Will be a tremendous challenge to go on the road, take the Tigers on the road. They're a very good Florida Gator football team playing in the swamp. And a lot of guys will be excited. This is a rivalry game for us, and we understand that. But nothing's going to change. This is going to be the plan that we have for the week. Today's Tell the Truth Monday. We'll get the guys in today. We'll tell the truth about the game, good, bad, and indifferent, and cover everything and fix us first. And our guys are going to be excited about that. Going on to Florida a little bit to give you a scout report. Obviously, they're 4-1, 18 to 8, and coaches poll. I think they're a very well coached football team. Jim McElwain has a lot of respect among our staff. He's one of the better coaches around the country. We understand that. Mike Simmons is an offensive line coach and worked with me in previous stops. He does a very good job. I think their defensive coordinator, Jeff Collins, is one of the top young coaches in the country. Randy Shannon and I work together at the University of Miami. Those guys have a tremendous staff, and they're a very well coached football team. First of all, I want to say their turnover margin is +5. I'm proud to say that we were +1 in the game. We're +1 for our new season. It's a positive start. They're +5 in the turnover ratio. To me, it's the most important stat. They have 8 interceptions and 2 fumble recoveries, so they're very active on defense. On offense, they have a pro-style system, 21-12 and 11 personnel, 8 return starters, averaging 407 yards a game, scored 28.4 points a game. They have 3 good running backs that run the ball very well. In fact, they use 4 sometimes. Their wide receivers are quick, as far as wide receivers always are. They're playmakers. They have a big offensive line. Their right tackle, their freshman, is one of the best offensive linemen that we're going to play this year. They're very well coached. They're a zone blocking team. They're a power team. They all work together. They come off the ball well. We studied them extensively this morning. Austin Appleby has been playing, but probably the starting quarterback is going to be Del Rio, who I'm very familiar with. I know his dad very well. Top players on offense, Jordan Scarlett, running back has 55 rushes, 274 yards, 4 TDs. Antonio Callaway, the 81 sophomore wide receiver, has 20 catches for 371 yards. On defense, very good. Like I said, Jeff Collins is a great defensive coordinator. I know him from the days of Mississippi State. He's a friend of mine, and he has a lot of respect from our staff. Multiple scheme, 4-3, 3-4 in Okie. Has 7 return starters. They give up only 230 yards per game, as you guys know, second in the NCAA. Their top players on defense is D. Saban, one of the top cornerbacks in the country. Jared Davis, number 40, a middle linebacker, leads the team in tackles, and he's very active. Caleb Brantley was a young man that was highly recruited as a defensive tackle, very strong and powerful. On special teams, their kickoff specialist, Eddie Cordero, has 75% touchback ratio. And the punter, Johnny Johnson, number 19, has 9 bunts down and signed 20. Before I take any questions, I want to tell you a little story. You may have heard it in the second quarter.
Okay, that was Coach Orgeron. To me, he just doesn't sound like a head coach. You know, he sounds like a assistant coach, a defensive line coach, that's reading off of a stat sheet. To me, it sounds like I'm in like a meeting there, and he's kind of telling the defensive line meeting, or having the defensive coordinator meeting, and discussing what this team has and giving out statistics. Don't get me wrong. I love numbers. That's what I give out, and I base my analysis on numbers. But when you're giving a press conference, I don't think you should be just reading from a stat sheet. I think you should already know these. I think you should already know these numbers. You've already dissected this film, and you need to talk about. You look out to the media and you talk about what these guys can do, because you know this team. You've studied it. You watched the film over and over again. He obviously hasn't watched too much of it, or he would know these things. I mean, he watched a good portion of it on Monday mornings, but Coach Orgeron just seems like kind of like the coach that everybody loved, and just a kind of a fun coach. Not a guy who is an X's and O's guy. He's been around, likable person. Everywhere he's been, he's recruited, and that's why he's been brought to where he's been brought. He's not a head coach. LSU needs to keep him on that staff as a defensive line and head recruiter. He's just not a head coach. I mean, I think that showed when he was at Ole Miss. Had a terrible time at Ole Miss. Yeah, granted, he doesn't have the talent at Ole Miss that he does now. But he's not a head guy. LSU, and I think LSU looking at it is they're going to give him the opportunity, but I think that their mind's made up. I think they want him on the staff. They want him there at LSU because of his ties to Louisiana, for his recruiting prowess, for his ability to coach defensive players, but he's not a head guy. Great storyteller, great motivation guy, great position coach, great recruiter, but not a good head coach. Now let's go resume the press conference midway and see what he's got more to say.
Make sure they're up and running and ready to go. Yeah. Well, I kind of have a knife for that. I'm an early morning guy, but we thought about it. We planned it out well, but we're not going to make a big deal out of it. You know, we got a long bus right now. It's 55 minutes, but we're going to get up there. We have a routine. We're going to do when we get to the first of all, it's a business trip. When we get to the hotel, we're going to eat something. We're going to meet. We'll be on special team. We're going to be on offense, defense. We have a team meeting. They're going to job. We're going to go to bed. They're going to get in the next morning. We have a meeting. We have a class session. We eat email. We're going to get on the bus. We'll get ready to go. That's how we do things.
Kind of a lighthearted follow-up. A year you like to drink energy drinks.
Say it again.
How many energy drinks do you consume a day?
Enough.
Coach, back here in the back. Last week, such an emotional week for your guys. The energy in the stadium was tremendous on Saturday night. How do you keep that going and take that over to this week?
Most part of our program. You know, I think when you're done for work, today's about telling the truth. We'll tell the truth, good, bad, and indifferent. Tomorrow's competition Tuesday. Wednesday's no turnover Wednesday for the offense, turnover Wednesday for the defense. Thursday is no repeat Thursday. Friday's focus Friday. And we just keep getting them in the routine, and that's part of energy. It's part of the things that we do. We're going to have energy on the field today. Next day, the next day, the next day. I think it's even going to get better than it was because those guys are going to be comfortable. They can understand what we expect. I believe players do what the coaches demand, and energy is going to be demanded in our program.
Hey, Brent Middle, is this the vision that you had after you left USC the next time that you would get a head coach? Or have there even been changes from that time? And what, if any, are there changes from your time as interim at USC?
Yeah, I think the word confidence. You know, when I took it over at USC, I had some things that I wanted to try, and I had tried before, and I saw them work, so I feel more confident today than I was back then at USC. There was a lot of unknowns. Today, I think there's more known things about my job that what I got to get done. I know the expectation at LSU. I feel very familiar for being the state of Louisiana. I feel support from the administration. I feel that our team is behind us. I know that we have a very good football team. I know we have a very tough schedule ahead. But I'm just taking it day by day. I'll be very confident in the system and what we got to do.
Oh, baby, addressing his energy drinks. I tell you what, that's something that I don't find hard to believe. I see this guy just probably crushing some Red Bull every day, just crushing some. Now, one thing I do like what he said is it's demanded and will be on this football team a high-energy football team. Gotta love that. It's not getting stoic. It's not going to get no emotion under Ed Orgeron. I can tell you that right now. He is a high-energy guy. He's, like I said, he's a motivational person. He's going to get you up to play. He gets up and at him. He spoke on that a minute ago. He's up early. He's ready to go. Coach O giving his breakdown of their routine. I do like he's following the Pete Carroll model of Tell the Truth Monday, Competition Tuesday, Focus Friday, think it was turnover Wednesday for the offense and the defense. So that's a lot of Pete Carroll in him. It looks like he's developed some things that he's learned and has been wise from his days at Ole Miss, trying some new things. So, we'll see where he's at. What does he get out of these players? What kind of performance does he get? Do we see on Saturday morning, early afternoon? As LSU fans, we definitely want to get back to where we're supposed to be with this kind of talent. So, when I take a look at this game, and I'm actually going to play a clip and what Paul Feinbaum said about what Ed Orgeron, what does he bring to this LSU team. I think when you look at this team, it's kind of like what I'd said about him being a high-energy guy. That's what his main focus is to bring that back to LSU. And I think for the most part, that's what he's going to do. That's what this team needs. Now, here's what Paul Feinbaum had to say.
Got good review Saturday night, but are we reading too much into a win over Missouri?
I feel like Coach O should just be interim coach for hire. That's his role, right? I mean, look what he did at USC. Obviously, a lot of excitement at LSU last week. I mean, they're running 4 wide. I mean, was it Oregon out there? I mean, what were we to make of that offense that we saw against Missouri? But obviously, it's going to be a much bigger task going on the road to play Florida this weekend. A much better secondary. Obviously, the strength of that defense, especially with some of the injuries on the defensive line that are really impacting the Gators in this one. I know they're hoping that Luke Del Rio is going to be able to start and play at quarterback just so this offense could get back on track. But Coach O always brings excitement with him. So I see why people are reading so much into what happened last week. They want to believe. Everybody loves Coach O. He's just one of those lovable guys out there. He did bring something different to that offense. I think a lot of people have been waiting on for a very long time there.
One thing she did say that is so true is the one thing that people have been waiting for. We as fans have been craving for a spread offense. The 4 wides, throwing it out quick, finding the holes in the defense and then exploiting it downfield. And that's what LSU was able to do. They're also able to run the football, which is going to help open those passing lanes even more, which is what they're going to have to do this week. Now they are, as you heard Andrea say, ESPN analyst, she said that they are facing some better defensive backs. Yes, much better defensive backs. Defensive backs that will play on Sunday. But they have to have the same game plan, regardless of the talent of the defensive backs. You got to attack. Attack, attack, attack. There's Jeff Collins' defense. There's multiple defense, gives you different looks, blitzes from different I should say exotic blitzes coming from all angles. LSU's going to have to throw some wrinkles. They're going to have to do some different things than they did against Missouri. Get away from the things that you can see on tape. They're going to have to throw some wrinkles in this Florida defense. Tennessee was able to attack this Florida defense down the seams. They're able to attack it on the perimeter. Get some big plays down the field. That's how you beat this Florida defense, is attacking it. If you don't attack it, they'll swallow you up. We're going to take another look. I'm going to play another clip for you guys. And this time, this is on the Paul Feinbaum show today. And what they're talking about is, and what's crazy is what this clip is to say, can Florida stop Orgeron's LSU offense? And it's like Orgeron just put a complete energetic shot. And listen to what they had to say.
He's supposed to play this weekend. Look at this game for us and tell us where we should pay attention. Well, I'm going to be real interested to see what other wrinkles LSU comes up with offensively. I mean, we saw them do some things in the run game. Forget about the passing game. We saw them do some things in the run game out of just offensive sets and personnel they hadn't done before. They were shotgun running zone. They were spreading people thin. All of a sudden, it's a lot easier to run the ball when you're not going up against 8 9-man fronts. Well, you can't cover LSU that way with their still perimeter, and they spread you thin. So it's going to be a challenge. I think for Florida, even the Florida will be the best defensive team that LSU has seen to this point, particularly on the perimeter, and I think with some edge guys and interior players for Florida. I'm really concerned about Florida's just seem to be taking a step backward offensively without Luke Del Rio. Not that Luke Del Rio was a physical difference maker that changed the game, but there does seem to be a difference in confidence of moving the football consistently with Austin Appleby as opposed to Luke Del Rio. I know there's a chance he may be back. I think that's going to be something to watch because LSU could get pretty good. You were in Tuscaloosa last week.
Now, that's the one thing that people are looking at now. Is they're saying, wow, look what LSU was able to do, and they're seeing how much easier it is to run the football when you're spreading out. Yeah, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. But you see, again, you're starting to see what Les Miles did to this offense. He kept it back from running these multiple sets. Tells me it was a Cam Cameron, Les Miles thing. Without a doubt. Because now you look at it, and the moment they get him out of LSU, this under Insminger, this offense is rolling. It rolled on Saturday. They're able to do multiple things. They're opening the offense, which